Okay. Scoot up a little. Hi, Taurus. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venuses. If you're watching this and you're listening to my lovely voice, then you should know why we're here based on the title of this, which is, let me turn this down a little, which is your 2026 overview. And yeah, so this is going to really be like what you need to know, what energy you need to be in, what energy you can expect and anticipate, any advice you might need, and it will also tap into love and will tap into career and finances also. Just as a disclaimer, I am open for 2026 yearly overview readings. Okay, so if you want a personal, much more individualized 2026 insight, definitely let me know. You can drop down below in the description box. You can find my website. My website does have that reading plus other several readings and things that you can buy and purchase from me. You can definitely use Shop Pay. I know it is holiday season, all right? So, pockets might be a little tight. I think it's just four installments of like not 330, $33. Excuse me. I think it's just like four payments of $33 and some change. I also have a discount code, 10% off with the code COMEBACK. That is COMEBACK at checkout. I don't know if both of them run concurrent, like if you can use Shop Pay and still use a discount. I'm not really sure. But I'm just saying all of that to say you have options, just in case if you're interested in booking and you need to kind of watch your pockets at the same time. Okay? Yeah, check down below in the description box, like, share, subscribe. That is everything. I believe that's all my announcements. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into while we're here. I already pulled an oracle card for you guys because I don't want this to be super long, so I wanted to go ahead and pull some stuff off camera. And you have the emotion and intellect card. The overall energy, this card is the overall energy, excuse me, for 2026, which also just further makes me feel like making sure that you're balancing your intellect and your emotions. It's not enough to just feel your emotions and process them, but it's not enough to just pay attention to your logic either. You need both. Okay? One is not more superior than the other one. You need both to survive. You need both to make decisions. You need both to be a full human. Okay? Bottom of the deck card, you have desire, which this card is basically asking you, what do you want? How much do you want it? And what are you willing to sacrifice in 2026 to get it? Is my other remote over here? It is. What are you willing to sacrifice in 2026 to get it? Okay? And making, how are we balancing our mental and emotional on the way to get it? Okay. Sometimes when we want something bad enough, right, desire is a very intense emotion, whether it be passionately, lustfully, emotionally, mentally. But sometimes we can want something so bad that it fucks with us emotionally. Sometimes we want something so bad to where we're becoming illogical, irrational. Okay. So again, what do you want? How bad do you want it? What are you willing to sacrifice to get it? And not only what are you willing to sacrifice to get it, but how are you also keeping your mental and your emotional in check at the same time? Okay, that's going to be extremely big for you. Emotional check ins, mental check ins. Where's your head at? What is your inner self talk looking like? Are you being super negative in your self talk? Are you being super positive in your self talk? Are you, kicking yourself while you're down? Are you empowering yourself? What are you feeling emotionally? Are you feeling distraught? Are you feeling frustrated? Are you feeling stressed? Are you feeling anxiety? And what are you doing to combat that? Are you acknowledging that within yourself? Or are you just kind of still moving and grooving, trying to ignore the emotional by choosing logic to where now you kind of just fucking yourself up? You need to check in with both. You have to logically check in, mentally check in with yourself, making sure you're making logical, rational decisions. And it's also important for you to learn how to make some choices using your heart. Sometimes we make decisions with our heart where we need to use our head. Sometimes we make decisions with our head when we need to use our heart. So, it kind of just really is going to have to depend on how well you can navigate and which one you're using. Okay. Give me an astrology card for my Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placement people. Cancer is the card that you have. So again, double emphasizing on how are you checking in with yourself emotionally? How are you nurturing yourself? Okay, how are you tapping into your emotional state? Cancer is ruled by the moon. It is also tied in with the mother, the womb, okay? Whether it be your mother figure, maybe you're a mom yourself as you watch this, okay? Maybe it's something to do with your mother figure, how you nurture yourself through that. It has something to do with your feminine lineage. It has something to do with, again, the moon cycles, your emotional body. So, again, a double emphasis on making sure you're checking in with yourself emotionally. It's not enough to just desire what you want and now you just gonna focus head on what you want and you just not paying attention to what your emotional needs are or to what your emotional body is craving, you know? So it just depends. How well are you nurturing yourself in 2026? The key words here says feeling, comforting, nostalgia, protective, intuitive, tender, moody, caring, sentimental, introverted, defensive, and family oriented. So again, these are the things to start thinking about, right? Just like I said, sometimes you can kind of be so caught in the hustle and bustle of things to where you haven't checked in with yourself. And then before you know it, you cranky, you groggy, you got an attitude, you moody, you don't know what's wrong with you. When the whole time it's like you kind of just need to check in with yourself emotionally. Have you nurtured yourself? Have you been resting? Have you been eating 3 meals a day? Right? Are you allowing time for leisure? Or are you just hustling? What's the Rick Ross song? Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm but it's like at what point do you slow down? At what point do you tap in with Taurus and say, okay, I'm clearly groggy. I'm clearly moody. I'm clearly irritated, agitated. I'm clearly, maybe overstimulated, overwhelmed, stressed, burnt out. That's normal. But how well are you combating that? What are you doing to combat that? Or again, are you now choosing logic over emotional? Where it's like, oh, I'm fussy, I'm tired, I'm hungry, I ain't really got no rest last night, but I gotta keep going. No, you need to take some time for yourself in 2026. Are you just gonna ignore what you're emotionally feeling, what your body is feeling, what your emotional body is calling for in order to choose the logic route? Well, I'm so tired, I'm running off 3 hours of sleep, but I gotta get this money. No, you need to get this rest. And understand that the money gonna be there when you wake up. The money ain't going nowhere. There's so much money to be made in this world. You don't have to ignore rest and ignore your body and not eat and not spend time with family, right? Even if it's sometimes down to an emotional moment. Sometimes you wake up and sometimes you're just not feeling it, especially as women, right? Your period and ovulation and hormones and shit and life and everything costs, bitch, $8 trillion goddamn dollars, bitch. I mean, sometimes you just need to take a day for yourself. When's the last time you took a day for yourself? Or are you one of those types that feel like you can't take a day for yourself? Taurus moons, I'm looking at y'all. Right? Where you feel like I can't take no time for myself. I can't relax. I can't, even though I'm moody today. Yeah, I'm sad. This happened in my life. A passing in the family. Me and my spouse not seeing eye to eye. But instead of sitting and acknowledging and honoring what you need from yourself emotionally, are you going to power through that, or are you going to actually chill out and listen to what you need emotionally? To say, when I'm just having a day, I'm going to actually cancel the day and I'm just going to lay in bed and I'm going to just eat ice cream and I'm going to just be there for myself right now. Because that's also an answer too. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not wrong for that. So it just depends on, again, what you're doing, how you're doing it. Dare I say I kind of want to jump off into the book? Let me see. I feel like I'm being guided to jump off into this book. What is that? The 11 of water. So it says, the 11 of water is a balancing and realigning card that addresses any emotional disharmony that may be influencing your choices or your environment. Didn't I just say that? Didn't I just say that? I love when my cards don't lie to me. It also represents the need for us to see the whole and how an imbalance affects it. Love and fear. How many times have you heard someone say that a choice or action was made from a place of fear, was born from a person's insecurities or doubts, or was it love? So again, the 11 of water is about balancing and realigning, addressing any emotional disharmony. 11 of water does not suggest that life is meant to be lived in an even keel. Life will always offer up moments that will have us shouting for joy, or conversely, suffering in silence. But if you had to express instead of suppress, hello? If we had to address instead of suppress, you will move through life with more ease as opposed to living a life of dis-ease, disease, and suffering. Because again, you know, when they say when you repress things, repression causes dis-ease, which causes disease. They always tell you, you know, holding things in, bottling things up, repressing your emotions, all of that causes illness. It causes sickness. It causes disease. So again, like I said, through 2026, regardless of what happens and transpires, how well are you checking in with yourself? Are you checking in with yourself? Because these are the questions that, again, are being required of you. How well can you nurture yourself during this time? Again, through the up moments that life might bring you, and through the joy, and through the camaraderie, and through the harmony. You know, when shit fine and dandy, everything fine and dandy. But how are you checking in with yourself and expressing yourself when things aren't so good? Are you suffering in silence? Or are you allowing yourself to be as you are? Are you nurturing yourself through the not so good moments too? How are you allowing your emotion and your logic to be the polarity of a whole instead of choosing one over the other? Is what this feels like in 2026. Give me some tarot cards for just what they need to know, what they can expect. Yeah, you have the Fool card reversed. You have the Hermit card here. So for some of you, it's already kind of looking like in 2026, you might be a little fearful of taking a leap of faith on something, on allowing yourself to be seen. Again, the Hermit card, especially in this deck for me, is about not really allowing yourself to be seen. You know, probably coming into some enlightenments, probably coming into some understandings, probably coming into some level of wisdom that you aren't exactly putting out into the world, even with yourself, right? The Hermit card can just be, again, hiding yourself away. Maybe you just simply don't want to put yourself out there. But this feels, again, a little bit more like emotional stuff with this emotional and intellect card. So again, are you going through stuff in 2026 and you ain't sharing it with nobody? You dealing with stuff and you not talking about it? Because again, talking about it can also be a way of honoring you. It doesn't always mean that you need help. It doesn't always mean you need a pity party. It doesn't always mean that, you know, you want people to feel sorry for you. But again, it's just a card of basically saying, like, you know, hey, it just, again, it honors you. Even if to call a friend and you like, well, bitch, I'm going to be honest. You know, let's use this great example. How many times through the day do people ask you how you doing and you act like, oh, I'm fine. But even just the honesty of saying, you know what, I'm not okay, but I know I will be. You know, I've had a really crazy day today in the worst way possible. But, you know, I got through it and I'm muscling through. You know, that can be hard sometimes. Instead of faking it and suppressing it and acting like, oh, everything's fine. I'm fine. You know, yeah, no, I'm fine. And work was fine. And the kids are fine. And, you know, money's fine. And the house is fine. And the car is fine. And the family's fine. At what point do you stop repressing and be honest and to just own what's going on emotionally? Or do you not know? That's why I said, because again, going back to what I just said, sometimes you can be so blocked out from it to where you really don't know what's going on emotionally. You just walking around like a loaded gun. You just walking around with a chip on your shoulder. You don't even know what's wrong. You don't even know what's setting you off. So this is a good time to make sure you're doing that in 2026. Don't repress your emotions. Don't repress what's really going on. Don't repress how you really feel. Tell somebody. Let yourself be seen in that. Take a leap of faith in that. Because it actually may end up helping you in the long run. The Hierophant card is here, but it is reversed. That is a Taurus card. So you're here. Cancer is here. Virgo is here. Aries is here. So you could have that in your chart, or this could just be somebody in your energy. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. But this feels like I keep hearing higher level commitment. Pisces, I'm Lord, and I keep saying Pisces. So again, you might have Pisces in your chart too. Taurus, one thing I'm definitely getting is like, this is also how you make higher level commitments, right? I don't know if you necessarily want deeper connections. Maybe some of you watching this and you like, girl, I have more than enough deep connections. I'm not interested in making no more deep connections and no more friends. I don't really care to confide in nobody. Okay, cool. Then confide in the people you already know. But for some of you, this also feels like if you want deeper connections, like if you want in your new connections to connect with people deeply, maybe romantically connecting with people deeply, or maybe just like building the depth and connections you already have, this would be a grand time in 2026 to start really telling people what's going on with you, like letting people in. You know, for some of you, again, like I said, this Cancer card, it said family oriented. So for some of you, this could be your actual family. Or for some of you, again, this could be wanting people around who feel more like family, connecting more with people who either are your family or feel like family. But real connection comes from really telling people what's going on, not that surface level bullshit of everything's peachy keen jelly bean. That's not how you make a real in-depth connection. You have to really connect with people, and to do that you have to really let people into you. Hey, I'm not really doing too good since the divorce. I'm lonely. You know what I'm saying, having empty nest syndrome. My finances has been whooping my ass. School has been whooping my ass. Work has been whooping my ass. It's like this is a good year to like, what I'm intuitively picking up is not even just you opening up and like connecting more with yourself, but this also feels like connecting more with people and letting people kind of in more so you can really have that type of connection, allowing yourself to be seen. Come from the back of the class. Why you know what I'm saying? Ain't this like my standing in the back of the class card? Why is you just sitting in the back of the class, you know what I'm saying, acting like can't nobody see you, like you're a wallflower? Come to the front of the class, speak, and speak up loudly. Speak with your chest. Speak up and speak loud. It's like, this ain't the year to be acting timid. No more acting timid. No more acting like you just so tough. This is a good time to, again, let your people in. Take a risk on that. And let people love and nurture you in ways and in manners where you might feel like you fall short for yourself. How you doing today, Taurus? Well, I mean, I'm doing. How you doing today, Taurus? I'm actually, if I'm being honest, I'm not doing so good today, but, I'm making it. How you doing today, Taurus? I'm doing great. Life is amazing. And I could jump and scream and shout for joy today. Like, it just feels like learning how to be authentic, like authentic emotional connecting is what comes to me. Give me one more card. Authentic emotional connecting. Yeah, the Chariot card is reversible. Again, Cancer is here twice. You could have some Cancer in your chart, in your Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Again, could be Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. I'm saying Aries, Virgo, and Taurus could be in your chart. And all of your cards are reversed here except for this Hermit card. So yeah, unless you can really like allow yourself to be seen, you might kind of struggle a little bit with like your emotions. I'm getting your emotional processing. Like, don't spend this year emotional processing stuff alone. Don't spend this year choosing logic and rationale over your feelings. Don't spend this time choosing logic and rationale over unpacking your triggers, over your healing. Okay? Not to put my mama out, but I mean, my mama, I know, can kind of have a tendency to do this too as a Taurus, where sometimes when she talk about her past, I know that she'll kind of like brush it off of like, oh, well, well, it's my past and I don't really want to think about all of that, and I'm not going to make myself sad thinking about it. So it's the past, the past is the past, and I'm just going to focus on now. And it's like, but that logically is not smart. Emotionally, that's not smart. In no way, shape, form, fashion is that is that a good idea. Like, at the end of the day, your past, your traumas, your current traumas, hurts, issues, woundings, you know what I'm saying, lashings, they all affect you. So it don't matter if it's an old thing or a new thing, or maybe again, sometimes in 2025 you have so many people like, oh, because I just don't cry. I'm just so tough. I just never cry about anything. Men too, and it's like, how does that help you? At the end of the day, these are two halves that you need to make up a whole situation. So you're going to have to cry. You're going to have to snot bubble. You're going to have to dry heave. You're going to have to do all of that. You're going to have to unpack all of that. Ain't no such thing as I'm not going to unpack it, or I don't want to cry, or I'm too cool to cry, or I'm not going to cry over nobody who's not crying over me. Okay. And I mean, stay emotionally constipated if you want to. But again, you're not doing nothing but keeping yourself hidden. You ain't doing nothing but closing yourself. And that only further allows for you to make connections with people and connections with yourself that are shallow, that aren't deep. If you never crying and you never unpacking your emotional body, Taurus, do you even know who you are? Do you even know your triggers? Do you even know the depth and the magnitude of what you might need to heal, or how far you can come, or the potential of how far you can go moving forward if you did? This made me feel like until you can really acknowledge that within yourself, you might kind of plexico burst yourself. So be careful about that. You might kind of fuck up some of your opportunities. You might kind of derail some of where your life can go by being stubborn and not allowing room and space for both polarities to exist. You can't sit here in your logic and avoid all of your emotions and your triggers. Something's triggering you. There's insecurities, there's worries, there's fears, there's all of this stuff. You got to sit with that. Just like you can't sit in all of the worry and the fear and the emotion without the logical rationale. You literally still will drive yourself crazy. Because then before you know it, all you could ever be thinking about is who hurt you and why they hurt you and what they did and what they didn't do, and oh my God, I'm just so worked up, right? And then at what point do you shut that off to now move forward logically? To understand that some of these hurts and slights aren't personal. A lot of people just are who they are. And you need to logically rationalize that before you emotionally interpersonalize that, like people doing me something. Oh, cause what about me? I'm always just overlooked. I'm always just in the back of the class. Nobody can help me. Nobody sees me. Nobody hears me. Nobody cares. And it's like, does nobody care, or are you not allowing yourself to be seen? Come from the back of the class. Why is you hanging out in the back of the class hoping that the teacher eventually pick on you? Maybe I can't see you because you in the back of the goddamn class. But if you come up to the front of the class and raise your hand, I could call on you. If you called up your friend, called up your family, called up your loved ones and said, hey, I'm really struggling, and this is what I need, and this is what's going on, and this is how I feel about it, maybe somebody can come to your aid. But if you just still sitting here acting like, oh, how you doing, Taurus? Oh, how's your day, Taurus? Oh, it's great. How you feeling today, Taurus? I'm great. How's the kids, Taurus? It's great. How's the job, Taurus? It's great. Okay, well, cool. I mean, if everything great, fine and dandy, peachy keen, jelly bean, then how can people show up for you the way you need them to show up for you in 2026? I'm just saying, don't shoot the messenger. Give me something for love from my Taurus people. Give me something for love in 2026, in love and in romance. I see a spark of something. So you will be meeting new prospects. You will meet someone new. And this might come after a tower moment. So again, if you're already dealing with somebody, Taurus, I feel like whoever you're dealing with, you'll meet somebody new after you stop dealing with this old person. There's somebody you're dealing with, or that you'll start to deal with. But I'm gonna be honest. This feels like for some of you, you'll probably go into the year dealing with somebody. And once you cut that off, or once that tower moment happens with this person and you get them out of your energy, I see a spark of someone new coming. Give me some more on this new love. But it'll definitely be after you cut ties with somebody else. It'll be after a tower moment with somebody else. Yeah, and it feels brand new. Another page. You got the Page of Cups. So again, this will be something prosperous. This will be something I'm hearing puppy love, like high school crush, they just make me blush. It's kind of the vibe that I'm kind of picking up here. They just make me blush. They just make me smile. It'll be exciting, and it'll be what feels emotionally safe. This could even be a connection that teaches you emotional safety. Okay, where it's again, you can't just run from your triggers. You might start dealing with somebody emotionally who might really challenge you in sitting in what you feel emotionally and learning how to express what you feel emotionally. Where it's like, okay, now how can we articulate that? How can we articulate that into words so that way I understand where you're coming from and I can meet you where you are, Taurus, instead of you acting like, oh, it's fine, I'm not mad, whatever. You know, because y'all could be real stubborn and y'all have a very good tendency to shut down. But if people are trying to meet you where you are, stonewalling them ain't gonna get you nowhere. I'm just saying. Give me something else for this new love. Yeah, I told you, Two of Wands. So this is going to be a connection that will challenge you and make you get outside of your comfort zone, whether you like it or not. Again, you can either block this blessing and pass up on it, or you can get outside of your comfort zone. You can get outside of your own way, get outside of your own stubborn ass attitude, and maybe try to meet this person in the middle like they're trying to meet you in the middle. Because this is something that's going to like challenge you. But I'm seeing new love. Yeah, look at all these pages. Look, page of swords, page of cups, page of wands. I like all of this. This is definitely new beginning energy. This is a new person. This is a new prospect. I'm even picking up a little bit. You might be scared. Like when you meet this person. One thing I do know about y'all though, y'all are very like comfort zone oriented people, similar to Cancer. So again, you might have some Cancer in your chart, but this feels like somebody who could like challenge you to get outside of your comfort zone. And it's like, again, if you're not careful, you'll sabotage this. If you're not careful, you'll fuck this up. And before you know it, it's like a blessing in disguise in your face. But see, you will be so stuck on not acknowledging you know what I'm saying? Not acknowledging your emotional body, not letting nobody in, not really sharing the emotional vulnerability. You not really nurturing yourself like that. So then when it comes to this new person and they trying to come into your life and nurture you, you extra don't know how to handle it because you don't even nurture yourself. Look, the Lover's card. I can't make this shit up, bro. So there's a lot of new energy. It'll come from after you let something go. You'll have to let something go. There's something you're dealing with or that you're carrying into 2026. It has to go. It can't stay with you if you want this new love. Yeah, I mean, if you don't want it, cool. Then you rather stay in your comfort zone. Hey, it's your life, not mine. I'm just a messenger. Okay? But again, if you want to help yourself in 2026 when it comes to love, you'll definitely drop this loser that you already kind of coming into the year with, and you'll make space for this new person. But I'm telling you now, again, if you don't get outside your comfort zone, if you want to stay stuck in the same patterns and the same way you've been doing shit, you'll shoot yourself in the foot, plexico burst. So please be very, very careful with that. Give me something on this Tower card reverse, because the Tower is the only thing reversed. Give me this Tower card reverse, and then I'm gonna pause this and turn my ring light on because it's getting darker. Closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Anyway, give me this Tower card reversed. Give me this Tower card reversed. Yeah, Six of Cups. Yeah. So for some of you, you're dealing with somebody. For some of you, Taurus placements, you're dealing with someone. This is either like people you have children with, somebody you've known since childhood. Yeah, Six of Wands. This is something you want to work. Six of Wands down at the bottom of the deck. Or this is something you get a lot of attention from, you know, either you want it to work really bad, or this is something that you don't really care for it to be successful, but you like the attention you get. But again, drop this loser. Drop this loser. I wouldn't waste no time. Six of Cups. This feels like you sticking around with somebody for familiarity. Making sure you don't do that. Don't stick around and stay stuck to nobody because of familiarity or because of a comfort zone or because, again, you just scared to challenge your own self and get outside your own shit. So now it's like, oh, I'm going to just stay over here. You know, it's like, this ain't the time to be doing that. But once you can, again, get out of whatever familiarity connection this is because of how long you've known them or because y'all have children together, it feels safe. Once you can get out of this safety connection you in, I see new love coming in. But again, I see them challenging you. And it's going to be for the good. It's going to be a great challenge. This is something that's going to help you grow and mature. But again, it depends on how well you want to grow and mature. It depends on how much you're willing and how much you, right, desires, right? Ain't that what I said? How much do you want it? And what are you willing to sacrifice? How bad do you want it? And what are you willing to sacrifice? What is the desire? There's a consequence either way sometimes, is what the desire card says, right? Even the desire card, you read it in the book, it say, okay, let's say you've been out working in the fucking yard all day. You muddy as shit, but it's hot and you want some water and you just mopped your clean ass kitchen floors. Are you going to sacrifice that water because you just cleaned them floors? Or are you going to sacrifice and have dirty floors for the sake of getting that water. Regardless, it's like something you got to sacrifice. Regardless, you got to do something you might not want to do. I don't want to fuck up my good clean floors, but I don't want to stay thirsty. It's very hot, and I would like a cold glass of water. Right? So this kind of feel like that. So again, it's like, what are you going to do? Are you going to stay in the connection that makes you feel safe because it doesn't challenge you, or because it's familiar and you already know what this come with? We talk about the same shit every day. I've known this person for 12 years. We go to the same cafe for lunch. Our argument styles have always been the same. I shut down and retreat. I don't want to talk about my emotions. They overpower me. Somehow we still keep this thing rolling. It's safe. It's familiar. As opposed to you challenging yourself and getting into something else that's not so familiar. Hold on, let me grab my light. Hold on. Okay, that's a lot better. Anyway, yeah. So let's jump into the money portions. Or like I said. But yeah, y'all seem pretty short, sweet, and to the point. Where's my money cards? Oh. Y'all do seem pretty short, sweet, to the point. I am also seeing, though, you'll have a lot of excitement, a lot of creative momentum, and a lot of ideas in 2026. I'm seeing a lot of creativity. I'm seeing some travel plans too for potential endeavors. But again, that'll come with you getting outside your comfort zone. That could look like traveling for work. That could look like applying to the job the next state over, and then maybe having to relocate instead of like staying in one state and then traveling. This could look like just traveling more in general and going to see the world and getting outside your comfort zone also. Some of you will have to go back to school and or maybe like pick up a trade or study something before learning. Some of these new ideas can be implemented, but you might have to do some research on them. Okay, and that's not bad. Just make sure you do the research that you need to do and like apply that with the actions that you need to take. Give me something for money and career. Just do it is the first card out. Procrastination will not bring any success at this time. This is the best time to put your plans into action. Didn't I just say that? Some of you, you'll have to kind of do some research. These ideas will cause you to kind of do some research. But you'll have to then follow that with putting your plans into action, making sure that you do that. I'm seeing a lot of inspiration. I'm seeing a lot of ideas. I'm seeing a lot of like creativity. This is the time to make sure that you capitalize on that and to jump on top of it. Taking chances. So again, that's similar to the just do it card, right? It says it's time for a leap of faith in this situation. Be more courageous in dealing with your finances. It may be uncertain, but it may lead to great results. So again, some of you will have ideas and inspirations, new plans. You'll see new things creatively or get inspired or motivated to do stuff, and it'll like trigger you to get some ideas. Again, this is a time to really make sure you're implementing these ideas. What actions are you taking? If you got to go back to school, go back to school. If you got to pick up a trade, or if you got to just go to the library and brush up on some stuff to do some research before you kind of like get some actions, then make sure you do that. But regardless, this is giving, it's again, 2026 is the year of movement. It's the year to make something shake and make something happen. Third card out is blessings. So again, it might be uncertain, but it might lead to great results. Okay, be courageous. Do not procrastinate in 2026. Blessings. It says unexpected fortune. Unexpected fortune is about to come. This is a great time to enjoy the blessings pouring in. Your finances are doing well at the moment. So again, yeah, now is not the time to procrastinate. You'll have a lot of ideas. You'll have a lot of passion and creativity to want to do things, to want to take on new projects, want to take on new ideas, want to see them like come into fruition, come into reality. And this is a great time to do that. Again, you're being asked not to procrastinate and to take risks. Be courageous, be bold. You know, again, it might be a little uncertain. It might feel a little uncertain, but do it. That's why I say, just like I just said, maybe you in one state, but it's a job another state over, and you like, child, I don't know if I'm gonna get this job. But then, what if you get it and they're okay with giving you the budget to relocate in order to have the job? You know, what if you apply somewhere and it's a travel job, and maybe you might be a little uncertain on how much it'll cost you to travel. But then again, maybe it's good. Maybe it's for the best. You know, things might seem uncertain, but at the end of the day, you still need to start putting your plans in action. Now is the time to start actually not only acting on them, but taking the risks and the chances you need in order to get the changes you want to see. Give me one more card. North Star, Aries also got this one too. Yeah. It says you're facing the future with excitement as you follow your dreams and embrace your passions for life. Now is the time to be directed to your life purpose. Okay, so again, what ideas, what passions, what projects, what visions are you having in 2026? Write them down because you'll have a lot of them. And if you're not careful, if you're not writing them down, Taurus, you might fuck around and miss them, or they'll just be ideas and thoughts. Right? You don't want them to just be ideas and thoughts. You want to implement them. You want to write them down. You want to make a short-term goal list, a long-term goal list, and you want to actually align your actions and your efforts with what it is that you're trying to make a reality. Okay, this is a good year to do that. Again, like I said, I see if you can be able to take a leap of faith, I see a lot of big blessings coming in for you. I see a lot of big blessings coming in, period. I said, even in love, like I was saying, it feels like whenever you cut whoever this is, that's a familiar energy to you, because it feels like you're still holding on to somebody because it feels familiar, or because you have children together. Maybe you've known them since kids, or maybe you've had a crush on them since a child and you still holding on to that. It's like whenever you get this out and clear this out, I see some new energy coming. I see a new lover coming. I see a new potential of a you know what I'm saying? I see a new potential of a potential coming, a potential suitor, right? But it's about how well, again, how bad do you want it? Same thing with the career, right? Bottom of the deck card, desire. Like I said, how bad do you want it? And what are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to do? Are you going to fuck up your nice kitchen floors because you've been working outside in the yard all day and it's hot, even though you muddy and you sweaty? Or are you going to not mess up your new floors and just sacrifice getting the water because even though I'm thirsty as a mug, I just wash these floors and I'm not gonna go dirty them up? Or do you want the bottle? Or do you want the water bad enough to where you like? I know I just wash these floors, but I'll just mop them again because I'm thirsty and I have to go get me some water before I fall out. All of this feels like, how bad do you want something? And what are you willing to sacrifice to go get it? And if you don't know how bad you want it, this is a good time to check in with yourself emotionally in 2026 and really sit with your emotional body and then really ask yourself, okay, what am I feeling about this? Sometimes what you want logically and what you want emotionally are two different things. And sometimes you can align the two, but it's up to you to sit with yourself to figure out how you can align the two. Okay? If I'm calling signs, I see Scorpio energy, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. I see Cancer energy, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Taurus, you are here. I see Virgo energy, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And I see Aries energy, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus also. Okay, it depends on how bad you want it. It depends on how bad you want it. Thank you again so much for tuning into my channel, though. I really appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe, leave me some comments if this resonated with you. Again, my name is B, just in case if you forgot from the beginning of this. And please don't forget, I am definitely currently running 2026 overview readings. If you're interested in one, you can definitely book one. Again, Shop Pay is available. My website is available down below in the description box. And you can get 10% off of that exact reading for... Did I say 10% off already? You can get 10% off of that exact reading by using discount code COMEBACK. That is capital COMEBACK. And yeah, thank you again so much for tuning in. And until next time, I'll see you over on the next video. Bye.